Hey, Hi-Fri fam. This is a little overdue, but today, I don't know, I figured I want to get another video out there, so we're going to do something special. We're going to take apart the Hexa. I don't know how many of you people out there are fans of the Hexa, but I got my dampener pulling tool, so we're going to pull the dampeners out of here, and we're going to take the drivers out and take a look at what kind of BA they're using. My guess is out the gate, I'm going to say they're using 130095 for the treble, and I'm going to say that they're using either 30017 for the mids, or maybe a 31736 and a 50060 for the treble. But we will see. The 2 BA are definitely for the mids, because the tube is larger. So anytime you have a larger diameter tube, actually no, that could be for the treble. I could be wrong. Yeah, so the smaller tube could be for the mids, and then the larger tube could be for the treble. So I'm gonna say that it's using a 50060 for the mid range, and then I'm gonna say that it's using a 31736 or some equivalent of that. They're probably Belsing. I want to say the treble BR Belsing, and I want to say the mid BA is probably an E audio, but I could be wrong. So anyway, we're gonna take it apart, and I'm also curious what the driver is that they're using. This 10mm here. I want to say that it is the same as the Truthear, what is it, the Truthear 0, and possibly the HBBX Con, and possibly like a 10mm version of the one that is in the Truthear Ola, because the one in the Truthear Ola is essentially just a larger version of the one that is in the 0 and the one that is in the Con. So the HBBX Con and the Truthear 0 both use the same type of LCP driver. It's like a milky white LCP, and I'm curious if this one uses the same. So we're gonna take it apart and take a look inside. So bear with me. I'm gonna pause for a second, and I'm gonna take this cap off. Actually, you know what? I might as well film it. So anyway, I hope everybody had a great weekend. Currently here in the US, it is spring break. That means everybody who's in school, they're currently out of school right now. Today was the last day of spring break, so everybody's going back to school. Yeah, so anyway, so here's the inside of the IEM, and you see the little frequency divider right here. It's it's very simple. It just consists of one capacitor and 2 resistors here. Let me see if I can zoom in on those. Yeah, so there you go. You got one, looks like one 10 ohm and maybe one 18 ohm. So we got looks like a 1.8x. And I don't know, 01x. So maybe a 1 ohm. I don't know, maybe a 10 ohm and an 18 ohm. But yeah, so 2 resistors and then a capacitor there. Alright, so here's our PCB. Oh shoot, one second. Alright, so here's our PCB. And then there is our speaker down in there. And our 3 balanced armatures down at the bottom there. So I'm going to try to be very careful about this. So be very careful. Okay, just noticed something really weird here. All right, so the P1, so P's for positive, all right? Positive 1, positive 2, positive 3, and then N is for negative, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. But when we look at it, so positive 1 is going to the negative of the dynamic driver, okay? So see that? Positive, negative. Then we go to positive 2. Positive 2 is on the green cable, okay? Positive 2 is going to the positive of, it's kind of hard to see, but it's going to the positive of these two BA right here, okay? That it's actually going to the positive, right? P2 is going to the positive on the right hand side, all right? And then P3 is yet again a negative conductor, but it's going to the positive. Let's see. I can't tell. Yeah, it looks like it's going to the negative of this BA, because this BA looks like it's upside down. So it looks like that's the positive. But if we trace it back, it's going to the negative here. So something's up with one of these drivers. Either that or the way they have this wired up is like they have one of the BA wired backwards or something. That they could be doing that on purpose for like tuning reasons or something, but yeah, that is really strange, because this is definitely the negative. That's the positive right there, but when we trace this positive wire coming back from the dynamic driver, it's going to -1. But it's weird because this PCB, so they must have marked the PCB wrong or something, because this capacitor here is going to N3, which would be -3. Yeah, and so it goes into this resistor here, then it looks like it goes into the capacitor, and then into N3, and then let's see, so there's a positive terminal, so oh come on, so the positive comes down, hits that one and that one, so that one, and then there's another via somewhere. I can't see where the other via is. It's like right there below the P, it looks like. So that is a positive. Positive, weird. I'll have to trace this out, and then that's the negative. The negative comes down and goes over to here. So there's another via somewhere under this N here, it looks like. I'll have to trace out this PCB because that's fishy. Something definitely fishy going on with this design here. But yeah, let's get some wires off. So just for reference, I'll just put this back up on the screen, and then I'll desolder all these. Alright, so there's our raw PCB. Okay, and I'll check this out, and I'll see what's going on with this circuit here, because something looks kind of fishy, so we'll find out. And then just coming back to the drivers one more time, I've just isolated the wires. So from what it looks like, we have the bass. I was gonna say the treble before, but I think it's the bass, the mids, and then the treble is that bottom one there. So very interesting. All right, it is free, and yes, it is indeed very close to the same driver in the Truthear 0 and the HBB XQKZ con. So very, very similar driver. Probably the same driver. But yeah, it's a milky white LCP. So it looks pretty much identical, but just the shell is just a little bit different. But yeah, so that is the HEXA dynamic driver. There we go. So I hope you guys can see that all right. And then this is the cavity that it's inside. So this is a tuning approach that I've always wanted to implement in my IEMs because it's easy and it's cheap. But instead of using like a Knowles style dampener, like one of these, like in more expensive IEMs, you'll typically see them use these in this little port here. For example, with the Galileo, they use one of these. It's a red one, but they use it like a Knowles style dampener for the Galileo dynamic driver. But in cheaper IEMs, it's perfectly adequate to use one of these like flat style dampeners. I don't know what you call them. I just call them flat dampeners. But it's essentially the same dampener that you see on the back of a driver for the tuning and for it to breathe. But yeah, it's the same exact thing, except for on the front of the driver to control how much pressure can vent outside of the driver. So if you guys can kind of see that. Oh, come on. Maybe I can get the focus in on my hand. But yeah, so you can just barely make out where it is back in there, and then it connects to that tube. And essentially what it does is it acts as a low pass, and it filters out some of the highs. And then there's also like a wishbone shape, or like a point where it bridges off, and it kind of goes boop and tees off. And this is the pressure relief. So this is where the excess bass and the excess pressure bleeds off. So the sound comes out of the driver, goes through this mesh here, down the tube, then the tube forks off. Most of the pressure goes out into your ear, but then whenever there's excess pressure, it goes back around, and that's one of the reasons why it comes off at such an angle. So the sound pressure is going to want to travel forward, but any pressure is going to want to go, like excess pressure is going to want to go back and around and back out. So that's why they do that. But yeah, pretty cool. And if you wanted to make these sound almost like open back IEMs, you would just put a less fine mesh. So you'd put like a more open mesh. This is why I say that there's no such thing as like an open back IEM, because every IEM is sealed with some sort of dampener to limit the amount of airflow to a specific driver. So the only way that you can truly make an IEM quote unquote open back is by adding one of these vents. And typically on most IEMs, that's what the little hole on the front is for. So in the case of, for instance, the what is this, the ZVX, so you see, like if you ever pick up an IEM and you look and you see this hole right here, this is the exact same thing as this one right here, but the only difference is this is routed to the back, so that way the front is clean and there's no ports. Because what can happen is, depending on the shape of your ear, if you insert this into your ear, your skin can cover it up, and it's going to cause pressure buildup, and there's going to be more bass. So you want a certain amount of bass pressure to vent out. That is how companies control the tuning of the bass, is by this hole here. So if you were to cover it up, essentially instead of having like this nice curve like curvature to the base, it would just go whoop and go straight up across. So essentially this allows you to vent off some of the base, so you get that nice base shelf or that base curve. And then also it vents excess pressure, so you can control the volume of the base, and then you can also control the amount of pressure, so that way when you insert it into your ear, it doesn't put pressure on the driver here, causing the driver to flex and crackle and all that. So, but yeah, and then it's like a pseudo, when you change this out for like a more open vent, it's like a pseudo open back. I mean, technically it is kind of open back, but it gives you kind of the feeling of a more open stage. And in some IEMs it actually does seem like a more open stage. IEMs like the Mast and other IEMs, they'll use like a dedicated tube that'll go straight from the front of the IEM all the way out to the back of the IEM and vent the pressure straight out the back. There'll be a dampener still to control how much pressure, so that way all the bass doesn't leak out. But instead of having it kind of take this route and then there'll be like a little breakaway for the dampener, instead of that, it'll just be one solid length of tube that goes from the front to the back. And that's what kind of gives them that like open back kind of nature to them. What was it? There was something else I was gonna say. I forgot what it was. I think it was something about the Mast. But yeah, a lot of times. 64 audio. So 64 audio has their like Apex modules, and that's essentially what this is. They're adjustable units that adjust how much pressure vents out of the IEM. There's like a little cavity where all the sound mixes from the drivers, it all mixes together before it hits the ear. And in that little area, there's a portion for pressure to vent away. There's another IEM that has it, what is it? Shoot. It's like the 4, 5, and 6. I forget the names of the IEMs. Anyway, but yeah, they do this like a similar thing. They have these little modules on the side, and there's like a little piece of dampening material or sponge or whatever that controls how much pressure is allowed to escape past them. But yeah, that's all for tuning. So anyway, all right, let me get these BA out of here real quick. All right, actually I take that back. So this is a Knowles style dampener tool. This allows you to install and remove dampeners, and essentially all it is it's a tap. So this is, if anybody is familiar with like a tap and die set, this essentially bores out like screw holes, but this specific size makes a really good tool for removing these dampeners here. And you can buy these on AliExpress for like $2. But yeah, if you have any IEMs with these style dampeners, you can retune them, not to a great amount, but to a decent amount. You can actually do some retuning. So if anybody ever wants to, you can pick up one of these tools, and then you can also pick up the spares of these dampeners. They're $2 per pair, so it's $2 per pair for the dampeners, and it's $2 per tool. And essentially what you do is you stick this in and you thread it a couple turns, and then you just pull. Oh shoot, I didn't get it that time here. Well, apparently this one's having a hard time getting them out. There we go. But yeah, then there's the dampener. And these are really, really tiny, super easy to lose. But yeah, so there's one. And then that's with the dampener removed. And you'll notice this like ring here. This is because I put clear coat on these. So that's just the clear coat coming up because I was pulling the dampener out. So that's all it is. These are normally a kind of a matte finish, but I put like resin clear coat on them. So that's all that is. But yeah, essentially you just thread it in there. Whoops. Gotta make sure you have it in real good. The problem is they're really easy to cross thread. And occasionally you'll have to kind of sharpen the tool. There we go. All right. And there's the other one. So we got our yellow dampener. All right, there's our yellow one. Yellow one filters out, essentially the yellow one filters out more highs. So I assume that one's for the mids than the green one. The green one filters out less highs. So I want to say the green one is for the treble BA and the yellow one is for the mid BA. But yeah, and then this is essentially what we're left with, just these two little holes here. All right, well, let's get these balanced armatures out. Ooh boy, here we go, got them out. All right, look at that. So this is essentially how they are inside the shell. And before I show off the balanced armatures, I just want to show you guys. So I did kind of hack up the shell a little bit, but this is fine. This is no problem whatsoever. This is super easily repairable. That's the thing I like about resin IEMs. I can easily patch all this up, make it look almost good as new. But yeah, I wanted to show off this cavity to you guys, just because I don't think anyone has really seen this. This is essentially how they do it. So there is where the two balanced armatures are, and you can actually kind of see, peekaboo, you can actually see through that hole there. The other one kind of takes a zigzag, this one right here, so you can't really see through it as well, but we can definitely see through this top one here. But yeah, so essentially that is where the two balanced armatures live. You got your dual balanced armature up there, and then you got your single one right there. Let me just see if I can get... No, you're so close. Come on, you're so close. Oh, you stupid fucker. Every time I'm doing this, I'm moving it back slightly. You fucker. Anyway, yeah, this phone sucks. But yeah, so you can just make out the cavity there where the three balanced armatures live. And yeah, and then, whoops. And then, so there are the tubes. And they kind of come off at an angle. I don't know if it's a better view. It's kind of hard to see because of the glossiness, but yeah. So you got your two tubes right there, and then the two spouts where the balanced armatures live, right in there. Just there and there. So pretty neat, and this is all 3D printed, so somebody took the time to design all this. So whoever you are, I know you're watching this. If you designed this IEM, good job. You did good. It's very nice. Teach me. Anyway, alright guys. So let me, I'm going to grab these balanced armatures real quick. And we'll take a look at the balanced armatures. I'm just going to pause and clean them up a little bit because they're a little bit gooky. Alright guys, I got some good stuff for you. This is definitely some sort of custom what is it? Custom Belzing BA or something. It's some custom BA. It says 22,609, I believe. Oh, come on. Wrong way. Oh, that's too far. Yeah, so 22,809 it looks like. Alright, so it looks like the serial number is 532013N as in Nancy, and then it looks like the model number is 220809, and this is one of the balanced armatures. It's actually a nice quality balanced armature. Like it looks of good quality. Looks nicer than the e-audios almost, but yeah, this is presumably some sort of Belzing BA. And then this is the dual BA right here. Now unfortunately there are no... Oh, you know what, there is a model number on there. Shoot, that is really hard to see. Oh man, that is really hard to see. I can't read it, guys. Oh shoot, 1 second. Alright, so I grabbed my microscope. It's kind of hard to read because it's like kind of worn away, but it looks like it says 233208301, or it could be 2322088301, but yeah, it has a number on it, so we will see. Alright, 1 second, guys. Alright, guys, so yeah, this is pretty much everything inside the Truthear HEXA. I'll graph them real quick if you guys want to see what the graphs look like. You'll just have to bear with me for a minute. It might take me a while, or you know what, I might publish the graphs in my community section. But yeah, so from the looks of it, we got the same dynamic driver that we have in the Truthear 0 and the HBBX QKZ Con. And then we have, looks like 3 balanced armatures from Belzing. It would appear these are Belzing balanced armatures. They appear to be custom made, so I don't know, we will see. I'm not too familiar with a lot of Belzing, but they look like they could be custom made. And then we have our 2 balanced our 2 tuning filters here, and we have our crossover. So this is essentially everything that makes up the sound of the HEXA. So yeah, so hope you enjoyed that. Almost there. Still working on it. Alright guys, I'm ready. I just graphed all the drivers, so give me 1 second, I'll take you off the stand and I'll show you what the graphs look like. Alright, you ready to go for a little journey? Let's do it. Alright, so here's my messy workbench. Yeah, it's pretty bad. There's our balanced armature with the numbers up close. Anywho, yeah, a lot of crap everywhere. But here we go. Here are the graphs, guys. So here's what the drivers look like. These are the raw drivers. So the red line is the dynamic driver. Here, I'll do it this way. Alright, so this is the base driver of the HEXA. Alright, now there's no... eventually I'll show graphs with the drivers playing through the shell and the crossover and everything included. Each driver by itself, so you guys can see what each driver looks like. I don't know if I'll put it in a video. I'll probably post it to my Facebook, and I might post it in the group, but this is just the raw driver by itself. This is me taking the driver and attaching it to my, if I can get it to focus, my little coupler here. Okay, so that's me attaching it to this little device here.